pumpkin pie. I just got a warning. Not to be loud. Next time, I get evicted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're doing a UFC fighter CTE tier list. I know the last video was kind of a filler episode, but I had to make a video because Peyton Talbot and Manel Cap both got wins within a week. But today we're back with another classic. As you can see, our tiers are going to be CTE proof, kind of retarded, funny CTE, and domestic violence CTE. I know what some of you guys might be thinking, hey, you're kind of retarded. Why are you making this tier list? In my opinion, that makes me the best fit to make this tier list. So let's get right into it. First up on the list, we got an oldie but a goldie. Someone who we got to see their CTE evolve over time. We got Tito Ortiz. You know, I'm first because I train 4 times a week. So I get to do it 5 times a week when I train 4 times a week. So that makes me the best because I train 3 times a week. Peak funny CTE has never clearly spoken 3 sentences in a row. I'm dead serious. If somebody can find a clip of this guy pronouncing 3 sentences properly in a row, I will send you 10 bands. Next up on the list, we got somebody who's very familiar to the channel, and I feel like we all kind of know somebody like this. It's Bryce Mitchell, brother. I feel like we all kind of know somebody that's from the country, not very well educated, but thinks they are. Bryce, there's just something a little wrong with him, but it's kind of funny, you know. I didn't want to put him in funny CTE because I don't think CTE is what caused him to be this way. I think it was just his upbringing, you know. Elliot Puro, I heard you beat your wife, but since you beat my ass, I'm going to beat your brother's ass. In the name of Jesus, I'll give him a baptism. I'm not retarded. Y'all just haven't woken up yet. The government is listening through the walls. That's why I built my house with anti-5G technology. You know, he's just not the brightest up there. Just a funny guy. No harm done. Everybody loves Bryce Mitchell. Next up on the list, we have our first candidate for CTE proof. We got one of my GOATs, Demetrius Johnson. You can hit this man in the back of the head with a brick, and I still think he would be able to explain to you the outside foot battle. This dude can still articulate himself very well. He's one of the smartest fighters on YouTube. Just a very entertaining guy and very well educated. You would think for the amount of fights that he's been in, the punch to CTE ratio would be a lot worse, but it's actually not. He still speaks very well, doesn't slur his speech, it can articulate exactly what he's trying to say, so he's the first candidate in CTE proof. Next up in the kind of retarded tier, we got our pink-haired cupcake, Israel Adesanya. This man could have easily been one of the most popular fighters of all time if he didn't decide to fight like a point fighter. Like, that's the reason why I have him in the kind of retarded tier. It's also the dog shit too, and the shit that he says. I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa, trust. Like that dumbass shit too. But the main thing is just him fighting like a point fighter when he has one of the most entertaining styles in the UFC when he decides to try. This dude could have easily beaten Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier, knocked him out, but he decided to sit there and just leg kick and jab his way through. I just think that's a very retarded thing you can do. So just for him ruining how good his legacy could have possibly been, I put him in the kind of retarded tier. Up next, I got another retard on the list. Congratulations, I'm coming. Jiri Prochazka. Not much explanation needed for this one. He literally used his forehead as defense for majority of his fights. He's just recently using his hands to defend himself. And he told Alex not to use shaman energy in their fights, or shaman magic, I think it was. This guy is my favorite type of retard, you know? He uses it in a way where he's not really bothering anybody, but he's funny to laugh at. And he's a good fighter too, so you can't even say he's wrong. Like, whatever the fuck he's doing, it's working. So we can't really talk down on his game because he's backing it up. So I love Jiri. Had to put him in the retarded list. I think we can all see why. Something I also forgot to mention was he also ties up his hair to make an antenna to collect energy. Like, what? Who does that? Next up, we got a fighter who's caused a lot of CTE but has also taken a lot of CTE himself. We got Max, turn it up, Holloway. It is what it is, brother. Patty MMA put me in the funny CTE tier. It is what it is. I swear, every single fight that goes by, his speech gets more slurred over time. There was also that Twitter situation where he wished a fan happy birthday when it wasn't even the fan's birthday, it was Max's birthday. So I thought Max Holloway was a perfect candidate for funny CTE. There was also that situation where he was in the interview with Ilia Topuria and he couldn't pronounce the word drill, and the Ilia Topuria was like, "Who's Joe? Who is Joe?" But Max seems like a really nice dude. I don't think his CTE is ever going to get to domestic violence levels, so I'm going to leave him at funny CTE. On the other hand, our next fighter on the list is for sure a domestic violence CTE suspect. We got BJ there in the Walls pen. I don't know if this man got more CTE during his stint in the UFC or outside, because he's been knocked out multiple times in street fights. BJ is the clearest case of CTE you'll ever see in your life. Just go to his Instagram after this video if you haven't already. He's genuinely crazy. He thinks his family got replaced by the government for some reason. It's funny but sad at the same time. Like, honestly, I don't even want to talk about him too much because I low-key feel bad, and I feel like his situation isn't going to end well. So I'm hoping the best for him and his family. He really needs some help. Next up on the list, I got another person in the retarded tier. I was debating putting him in the funny CTE tier, but there's pictures of him younger, looking a little retarded, looking like he had a bit of tism in him. So I put him in the retarded section. Justin is kind of like Jiri, where I like their form of retardation because they use it to be very entertaining in fights. Like, he just goes out there and he's just fuck it. Like, sometimes Justin is my favorite type of fighter when it comes to the retarded fighters, because he's kind of like Jiri, where they use their retardation in the fights to actually benefit themselves. So you always know whenever you watch a Justin fight or a Jiri fight, it's going to be an entertaining fight. And he also has one of my favorite quotes of all time. If one man can hold you down, then two can rape you. That's legendary right there. So I had to put him in the retarded tier. Next up, going back to the funny CTE tier, we have a fighter that might fit into the retard tier as well. But according to my studies, when a fighter gets dumber every fight, that's CTE. I got Michael, see you at the top, Chandler. I've never seen a fighter with so much skill have such low fight IQ. I honestly don't have much to say other than watch any of his fights in the UFC other than the Dan Hooker fight, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This man is honestly one of the most skilled UFC fighters in the UFC all time, but he doesn't use it to his advantage. He has the physicality, he has the wrestling, he has the power in his hands, but he just does the opposite of what you want him to do. Goes up against Charles, let's grapple. Goes up against Gaethje, let's fight standing up. Like, he's just an airhead. There's not much going on up there. So I had to put him in the funny CTE tier because it's still funny to watch him fight. Next up on the list, we got Dricus Du Plessis. This dude is literally a Looney Tunes character. If you watch any of his fights, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He'll throw up the dumbest shit you'll ever see. A double drop kick, a 360 flying back fist slam dunk, and he'll win the fucking fight. He also reminds me of somebody we'll see later on this list. They both kind of give me a caveman vibe, where you can tell there's not much going on up there in the middle of their fights. So I put him in the kind of retarded tier. Next up, we got another tard on the list. We got the furry himself, Gene Silva. I'll be honest with y'all, I wanted to put him in the kind of retarded tier, but you can't have a photo of you like this exist and expect me to not put you in the retarded tier. If I ever redo this list in the future, I might have to bump him up to a tier above, because Diego Lopez deadass turned his head into an impulse grenade. There's no way he's going to recover well from that. But for now, I just have him in the retarded tier. He seems like an emotional dude, so I might have to bump him up 2 tiers if I ever redo this list. Hopefully not. But next up on the list, we do have our next suspect for domestic violence CTE. We got Cody Garbrandt in the domestic CTE tier. I really hope I'm wrong about this one, because I really like Cody a lot, but it worries me that he's dead ass going through a midlife crisis and getting a face tattoo at 30 plus years old. That can never be good for you. The only other reason I have him in this tier is also because of the way he looks. Like, when Theo Vaughn said Monster Energy makes you want to punch your wife in the face, I imagine somebody that looks just like Cody Garbrandt. He matches the exact description of somebody who I would think drinks Monster and beats their wives. I really hope I'm wrong about this, because I really like Cody Garbrandt, but if I had to predict, this is how I predict his CTE is going to end up. Next up in the funny CTE tier, I got, how the fuck is that even a question? Of course I have CTE. Marvin Vettori, the best chin in the UFC, but his brain has definitely taken a lot of damage over time. This guy is the definition of an airhead. At some point, this man was fighting Izzy for the title, and now he's on a 4-fight losing streak with one of those people that beat him being Roman Dolidze. It's just a sad downfall from here. And he's only 32 years old, so you can't even blame it on father time or getting very old. He's in one of the heavier weight classes, so that's not even very old. I really hope he wakes up one day and uses his chin for his advantage and just starts marauding people like Alexander Pantoja, but I don't think that day is ever going to come. But all my homies love Marvin Vettori. Next up on the list, I got Big Gumbo DC in the CTE proof section. It's honestly really impressive how much damage he's taken at such an old age in the heavier weight classes, and he's still able to be a good analyst when he's not glazing the wrestlers. He's really good at dumbing down difficult things to understand about wrestling for people that don't understand much about it. And he also seems like he's very in tune with his emotions. Like he doesn't really let the Jon Jones stuff get to his head too bad, even though he cheated in both of the fights. So I put him in CTE proof. I'm glad to see both of these guys. I'm glad to see that both of these guys are still healthy and doing well and have a successful career outside of fighting. But next up on the list, closing out the retard tier, we got, hey guys, I love UFC and I love Petty MMA tier list, and I'm super grateful to be a retard. And I put Merab in the retard tier solely based off of the things he does outside of the cage, like jumping headfirst into a frozen lake, climbing random shit, and just spawning in randomly during street fights. I really hope Merab gets a post-fight show, as long as they can put a limit on how long he can yap for, because this guy's hilarious. I feel like if they ever do another tough series, which I don't think they'll do because that shit did not do good the last time they did it, if they ever bring that reality TV show back, Merab needs to be a coach one season. This guy's hilarious. Just give him a camera, give him a mic, and just let him do dumbass shit. Next up on the list, the last guy in the kind of retarded tier, we got Stipe Mumblemouth Miocic. You cannot understand a word he says. Like, he's the one that reminds me of DDP, where they kind of have that caveman retardation, but you just can't understand what he says. They should require to put subtitles under him every single time this man talks. I can't understand half the shit he says, but apparently when it gets translated, he sounds like a pretty normal guy. So I don't think it's CTE. I'm just going to leave him at kind of retarded, because even when he first joined the UFC, he always had that weird way of speaking. I can't understand that shit. And last but not least, we got the 3 times domestic violence champion, the only UFC fighter to win a trilogy against his wife. We got Mr. Domestic Violence himself, Jon Sexy Chocolate Jones. I honestly don't know if his domestic violence is due to his CTE, but for the sake of this list, we're going to assume it is. And I don't know who has more CTE, whether it's Jon Jones or his fans that think he's a good Christian man. There's no need to explain why he's in this tier. Just look up his criminal history and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about if you don't know about it already. But Jon Jones is our last suspect in the domestic violence CTE tier. If you guys enjoyed this tier list, or you guys want to see some more videos like this, don't forget to comment down below who I should have added on this tier list. And if you guys enjoyed this video, or you want to see more MMA content just like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be doing the MMA awards pretty soon, but I wanted to make a few more lists before we get to that. And I will be bringing back the Wheel of Video ideas. So if you guys want to be featured in the video in the future, don't forget to comment down below some of your video ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at PattyMMA.